Hello everybody. We are at November the 10th. And we're going in to check our worm bins and ENCs. There's some strange fungus going on in here, but it's still fungus. Lots of ENCs showing up. Yeah, going to give them a good feeding, give them some more bedding. So last time I put more newspaper up here, they've cleaned a bunch of that off. That's about all there is left of that. Moisture's good in here. Really nice. Pretty cool. Not much left of the newspaper. Gonna need more. This if you recall last time I said Kleenex is okay. Well, this is the kind of stuff you get out of Kleenex and paper and stuff, is you get that fungal activity in your bin. I am not sure what's going on with that. That's probably something else making use of the paper. You know, those little gnat bugs or something, or mites. I see some mites there. Maybe that's mites. But they're in the bin and they're okay. So we're going to just do a mix, see what's going on. Nice little population of ENCs. And they are big and small. This end's a little bit dry, but if you remember the last time we did kind of did the wedge system, I guess. So we're going to do that again. We're going to push everything to that end. This is going to go down to below. We're going to give them banana. These were all frozen and now they're thawed. A little bit of onion, I guess. Onion. We're going to give them some more bedding. So how's everybody been keeping? I know we haven't done many worm videos this summer or fall, but I'm just going to give them a little bit of water. And some newspaper or paper. Have to be newspaper. Okay, get the give them a couple pieces of Kleenex. So this bin is the ENC's, European night crawlers. And cover it. And cover it. That one's done. And other ENCs. This one's a lot heavier. Seems to be a healthy population. Oh yeah. Yeah, they are definitely busy. So this end was my where I pushed up to have it kind of dry up, and it has dried up a little bit. Push this stuff to the back, this stuff to the front. Then we're going to give it a good stir. Well, good population in here. I mean, maybe not as good as it could be if I paid a little more attention to them, but lately I've been busy, and now we're coming into late fall and early winter, so I will have more time to play with my worms. I'm gonna do the wedge, set them all down here. So I'm seeing all sizes of worms, and they seem pretty happy. We'll give them a little bedding and a banana and some frozen goop vegetable that is thawed. And then we're going to give them more bedding. So, as I've said, you know, in previous videos along the way, I always cover my food with a good layer of bedding, and it helps to keep the gnats out of the food. Can you bring me more newspaper up? So, I guess this is kind of a good time to say, if you like what we're doing, subscribe, like, share, comment. I know it's been a while since we've done an update. I'm trying to not be as intrusive to them and see how that goes.
This is a list for newspaper separation on paperback.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're also finishing up our grazing season, the last of the share cows and the last of the custom grazing cows left on Friday. Today's Sunday. So that was the 8th, this is the 10th. Okay, that's the E&C's done. Now, this one seems a little light, but there's still weight at this end, so kind of, oh yeah, we got worms. My name's Vince, and I have worms. Yeah, I know. Whatever. Very punny, right? Very punny. So the worms are on top of the paper also, and they're doing very well. They're doing well with that paper. They're doing well with, I wonder. Yep, they're in the corn cobs. So corn cob is a very slow food. And so this is all worm castings. that could be harvested, but I'm going to leave them in the bin so they stay active longer because I only need them come spring. And of course, I'm seeing a fair amount of cocoons in there. So we'll move the corn cobs this way for now. We'll put the paper under there. There's some more of that Kleenex. It just turns into fungus. So I'm going to throw a few more in there. That's it. That's all I got. And then we're going to feed them a banana. They love banana, by the way. It's almost like crack for worms. And some vegetable mush. So I had all this stuff frozen, and then I needed room in my freezer. So I took it out and put it in a cooler outside, and it's been kind of freeze thaw. In the last couple of days, more thaw than freeze. So come on back in. There. More thaw than freeze, so it's all thawed. But that's okay, because the worms will get at it. So we're going to give these guys some more bedding. I'm probably going to have to pause you partway through and go mix some more bedding up. This has been sitting for a while. It's coffee and paper. So we'll probably need more because I got at least a couple more bins to do. One of them's a restart from last time, and we'll see how that's going. I'm kind of expecting to see some worms in that restart bin. And if not, I guess we'll give it some more moisture and let it keep going. Okay, so paper, plastic, bubble wrap. One done. So this is a restart. This is the second restart we did last time. Let's have a boo and see what it's up to. If I see any worms, or if we're just maybe to the point where we have to add to. It's dry here. Yep. It's like in here. There's moisture in here, but there's no, I'm not seeing anything for worms. So what I'm going to do is I think this is going to get added into my one of these other active worm bins. Tiger, are you going to come and help do worms? I will moisten that up in that bin, and we will add it to some of these other bins. So this guy is heavier. I wonder if this is a restart number 1 from last time. So let's have a shot through here, and I see, what do I see? It's dry underneath. Drier. It's not dried right out, but it's. There's 2. We're going to put them back into some active bins, and we'll just cycle them that way, because I'm not going to waste time on them. It's just not up my alley to waste a bunch of time on something that can be rebooted by just adding that stuff to a couple of days. So here again, we're seeing some, I think these are gnat nests or droppings. And I or mites. Mites, probably. Yeah. Not a big deal. So we'll start at this end where it's all mostly castings, and they have vacated the castings. Like, there's very, very few worms right at the very end here. Like, when I say very few, I don't see any. So we'll go this way and find some worms, and they're in that paper and fungus. And hi, Gar. So this bin is active. So we're going to take some of this other bin and use it for bedding in here. It's never really a waste. I mean, there's nothing wasted. It's all coming back through. So, and these worms that are alive in here will activate any eggs that are in there with the moisture that we're adding. And we're going to add some more moisture to this stuff because it is a little dry. And more of this yummy stuff. And this is quite moist. Of course, when you freeze it, you break the swell walls, right? So let's put some more of this in here, and then we'll pour the juices out of that. So this is like sugar water, I suppose. Anything that comes out of the plants, and we'll add some more water. And the reason I'm adding so much water to this is because that bin has no activity, so it's dried right out, right? The worms, where the worms are, the activity stays. And this is a little bit moist, but I'm not going to need as much of this now that I'm using that other stuff, so maybe I won't have to pause you and go mix more, but we'll see. Okay, paper. We'll use this paper. And we'll use this plastic. And we'll use this insulation. And that's another one fed. Okay. Let's see what this says. Some weight there, but and there's worms. So one thing you're going to notice is the paper is ate up. See, nothing left of that, nothing left of that. Of course, we shoved everything this way for the wedge. This end is kind of dry, but not bone dry, but there's no worms in it. This is the harvestable castings at this end. So about midway, we're going to start finding worms. So we're going to just mix these guys up. There's a corn cob. Let's have a look. Yep, they're in the corn cobs. And I've noticed that baby worms love corn cobs. But this is drier than I'd like. So we're going to add some water to this whole thing. Always use dechlorinated water. If you have chlorine in your water, be sure to set it so that it has time to evaporate the chlorine out of it. That's very important. Chlorine is not very good for worms. Banana, veggie goop, and some juice. More veggie goop and some juice. 1 grape stick. Part squash. Still frozen. And I'm gonna feed them guys so they get active. I'm gonna give them some more of this stuff out of this old bin. I haven't seen a single worm in any of this stuff where I'm bringing it over. I have a drop sheet down, so if I look like I'm making a mess, I probably am, but it's okay because when I pick up the drop sheet, everything goes with it. And give them more. The furnace started running here. We started it about 2 weeks ago now. So that dries things out more too. More paper. More paper. And I guess there's paper here. More paper. Put one of them. And then plastic. I think I'm going to pay a little more attention to my worms now because I think I've ignored them enough. And like I said, I'm not as busy on the farm. It's fall. Everything's going home. I just have a few chores to do out there. My pigs and I got like 10 yearlings and feeders to keep track of and make sure. And maybe if it gets cold, bring them up to do some bale grazing. Alright, let's find the guys. And these guys have lightened up a lot from what they used to be. I know they're still okay, but they're not as full. So we're going to put plastic right there, plastic right there. Really nice worm castings. There is an active population of worms on the top. This has dried. This end is dried, so let's just mix it up with some moisture stuff. Corn cob. And yes, there's worms in the corn cob. And it's wet down here. And that's where your population is going to be more populated, is in the wet stuff. There's corn cob. And they're in there. I can see worms in there. and the corn cob after a while just completely falls apart, like breaks apart. And so this is our feed zone. Obviously, there's some food, and there's the worms. So we're just going to move everything that way a little bit. And yep, these guys are healthy. Maybe next time we'll take, if we have to, we'll take some out, but we don't have to right now. And they're in the corners where it's actually pretty surprising. They're populated really well. For as much as I've ignored them, I think they're doing good. Okay, we're gonna give these guys 2 bananas. Yeah, whatever. They'll figure it. Chunk of pineapple. And some veggie mush. And there's a lot of worms in here, so they can take it. There you go. Everything else in that bucket is going out to the pigs today so that I can start new and not have such a backlog. Alrighty, let's put some bedding on this. Well, let's use this stuff. So I guess lesson learned. If I want to just, ignore my worms, I'm going to lose some. And also, it's not the end of the world because there is eggs and there is... So when worms get stressed to the point where they think they're dying, they start laying a lot of eggs. And they will leave cocoons for the next time the conditions are right. So adding these back into these bins will help that dry stuff get to the proper conditions where it can reactivate and restart the system. So anybody that's paying attention knows that I haven't added water to this big bin very often in its lifetime because the food that goes into it usually keeps it moist. So that tells me that I'm not feeding enough when I have to add water to them. That kind of reinforces in my mind that I'm neglecting them too much. And that's not what we want to do. So we want to keep them a little happier, a little more active. This other one I'll just leave till next time. I'll cover it up. Maybe moisten it up, cover it up, and see if it starts. Okay, so that's our worm video for November 10th. We're going to cover it with plastic. And we've got spares because we got extra. Should have one extra set of plastic, but we're going to do a pretty good covering of it because probably use it. extra Kleenex. Something there. It'll be fine. Alrighty. This is empty, so we can go over in my excess bins. Oh. As I was emptying it, I found one worm. Put him inside. It'll be okay. Okay, so we're gonna just... When I set this down underneath the bed, and yes, it is underneath the bed, I set it so that there's a crack at this end, and this end's pretty much covered. The plastic down there is covered. I just set it like this to get it down there because it's heavy. Now I put it under, and everybody's happy. Happy, happy, as Duck Dynasty says. Okay, so like, subscribe, share, comment. Tell me I'm crazy for having worms under my bed. That would be cool. Have a great day. I hope some of what we do is showing you that you can screw up. And it's not the end of the world. We've still got worms. We just got to do things a little better for them, and they will come back with a vengeance, because all of those eggs, when they're ready to go, will start hatching, and we will have a population explosion. Have a great day. Have a great Remembrance Day, because tomorrow's the 11th. And remember our veterans. That's a very important part of our world. With all the stuff going on in our world these days, we have to remember how we got here and why we have the freedoms we do. Enjoy the day, and see you next time.